Hi everyone, this is Lovelin Johnson, and today we are going to be looking at the 16 undeniable laws of communication. And the law we are going to be talking about is the law of content. Before we get started, I have a question for you. Can you take a guess of the number of messages an average person receives every single day? I don't know what your guess is. Believe me, an average person receives 5,000 messages every single day, whether it's through text messages, emails, social media feeds, interactions with colleagues, co workers, friends. They are bombarded with messages. In a world filled with so much message, how do you set yourself apart? How can your message come alive? How can you bring transformation? How can you be memorable for them? The law of content states when you have something worth saying, people will start listening to you. Think about the conversations that you have after a presentation is over. What do people generally say? They often feel bored. They often feel that the message was so confusing and hard to follow. And today we are going to break that mold and we are going to make our message memorable. So here's my question for you. When you have something important to say, how do you cut through all that noise? How can you make your message memorable? Today's session is a two-part series on how to make your message memorable using an acrostic as a framework. And the acrostic is called Condos Lift. Today, we are going to be talking about acrostic condos, and next week's session, we are going to be talking about lift. What does the acrostic condos stand for? C, connect with your audience. O, own your strengths. N, narrow your thesis. D, do your research. O, outline your message. S, shape your content. Let's start with our acrostic condos. C stands for connect with your audience. Your number one goal is to connect with your audience. You need to meet them at the level they are at. You should see them as your puzzle partners. Know your puzzle partner. Think about you. You probably could solve a 6,000 piece puzzle, but you are going to be working with a 6-year-old. Would you be taking a 6,000 piece puzzle to them, or would you be taking a 25 piece puzzle to them? You most likely will take a 25 piece puzzle because you want to meet them at the level they are at. The key questions you should ask are, who are my audience? What challenges are they facing? What's keeping them up at night? What level are they at? Because it's very important to understand and know your audience so you could serve them better. Remember, great puzzle builders always start by understanding the level and the interests of their puzzle partners. Number 2, own your strengths. You can only work on the pieces that belong to your box. When you take a piece from someone else's box and try to fit in, it will never fit in. You could press so hard and work on that puzzle, but it will not sit right. I would encourage you to only talk about things that really brings energy to you. What are your passions? What are the things that you're constantly working on? When do people approach you? What type of topics do they approach you for when they have questions? And what problems are you currently solving that could help someone? Work on your strengths. Don't force someone else's puzzle piece into your box because it's never going to fit in and it's going to look too obvious for the people who see it. And so don't try it. An authentic question would be, does this topic make me come alive? If you're not genuinely passionate about it, don't force it. Number 3, narrow your thesis. What is a thesis? A thesis is a condensed version of your message. So every time you're going to present somewhere, ask yourself, can I explain all this in one sentence? And if you can explain it in one sentence, then you have a clear picture of what you're trying to say. Because we are talking about puzzles, I thought I would explain it as the box top moment. Your thesis is the big picture that you have clearly written on your box top, and that's what you're trying to explain to your audience. If you can't see the box top clearly, your audience cannot see the box top clearly. But when you can, your objective should be, how do I make this box top so visible so the audience can journey with me on the puzzle? Number 4, do your research. Now that you have this big picture, remember we talked about the box top. When you are clear about the box top, in this instance, I have the flags of different countries. When I am clear about the box top, I need to do research related to this box top. I can't go to a different puzzle and pick random pieces and try to fit into this puzzle because it's not going to fit in. I need to be doing research related to the pieces that would be part of this particular box top. So do your research, collect stories, quotes, illustrations, metaphors, all related to the thesis of what you are trying to speak. Number 5, outline your message. When you work on a puzzle, what's the number one thing you do? You start working on the edges, and that kind of gives you a clear framework to stay within. And when you have the edges clear, then you can start filling in the details later, and it's much easier to work on a puzzle when you have the framework done. An outline for a message is similar to the framework that you do on the outer edges of a puzzle. So work on the outline first, and then you can put the body together later. And clear outline would be 3 things that you want to talk about. You can have an acrostic like Condos, like how I came up with, that would make the message memorable. Always start with a clear outline. Number 6, shape your message. Now that you have the box top clearly and you have done the framework, all you have to do is fill in the beautiful details. And the book talks about the 4 realms that John often thinks about when he puts the content together. What can the audience learn? What can the audience do? What can they sense? What are the feelings that I could evoke as part of this presentation? And how can they be part of this journey? And when you think about the audience experience, when you put the content together, your message comes alive and you have this beautiful content that you could present and they can carry on with. Next time you work on a presentation, keep this Condos framework in mind. I'm confident when you have this framework in mind and prepare a presentation, your presentation will come alive and your audience will walk away with a clear understanding of what you were trying to explain to them. Think about the 6 things that we talked about. Connect, know your puzzle partners. You need to have a clear understanding of their needs in order for your message to be effective. Own your strengths. You only work on the pieces that you have in your box. Don't go to someone else's box and take a piece and work with. Work with things that you are strong at, that you are confident about, that you're very passionate about. 3, narrow your thesis. Show the box top clearly to your audience so they can walk along the journey with you. 4, D, do your research. Remember, you have now a clear box top and you need to do research only on things related to this picture. You don't have to do research on other topics. You need to stay within the topic and do your research. Number 5, outline. That helps you stay within the framework and have 3 bullet points on your main topics and you can build your message later. Number 6, shape your message. This is where you bring the audience experience. What do you want them to learn? What do you want them to do? How do you want them to feel? And you bring the audience experience when you shape your message. I hope you found this lesson helpful. Next week, we are going to be looking at the law of content, part 2, which is the lift acrostic. Hope to see you there.